can't get away from the guy. Hello, Bianco, behind the pair of sixes. Day 66, there he is. Day 66 of the Raw Deal. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rush Limbaugh, the television show. Glad you're with us. It's our fireside chat show, but guess what, folks? We are not going to use in our main monitor our fireplace video tonight since it's springtime and people are associating springtime with the coming warmer weather. We are going to do an oceanside chat. Take a look. There we go. Nothing but waves wafting in during the entire show. Now we do, for those of you where it is still cold, and we'll periodically show you, we still do have our fireplace, but we're using smaller videotapes, smaller logs. We're more environmentally conscious. If we can get a shot just to my left of the small fireplace, just there it is. It's obscure, it's out of the way, but periodically you'll see it for those of you where it is still nippy and chilly. Now we're going to have some phone calls tonight if we can squeeze them in. We have some viewer videos as usual, but before we get started with that, I want to pick up with something where we left off on our last show. I talked about the Atlantic Monthly article. Right there it is. It's an amazing piece, folks, because what it is a bit of social science research. And by the way, the Atlantic Monthly is not a conservative publication. If anything, it would be safe to say that it tilts to the left. And enough body of research is in to determine that illegitimacy and single-parent families are one of the root causes of many of the social problems that we are having in America today. Now, when I first saw this, and I asked this question on my radio show, I was really puzzled. Why do we need surveys to tell us what's common sense? Why do we need to spend all this money and hire all these people to go out and do all this research to prove something we know? And the reason that we have to do that is because so many people refuse to believe it. Freedom today means total freedom to pursue hedonism. To too many people, freedom means I can do whatever I want to do and you can't stop me. And if you pass judgment on what I do, even if it's wrong, you're the bigot. And that's just sad. It's wrong. But I didn't want to leave the impression that I think that single parents are in and of themselves the problem. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons for divorce, and some of them are justified, some of them aren't. But the problem that this article in Atlantic Monthly points out, and the thing that I would like to stress here, is that these kinds of alternative lifestyles are now being promoted. They're being celebrated. They're being romanticized. And the traditional nuclear family is under assault. Rape, incest, abuse, those are the things supposedly tied now to mom and dad staying at home and raising kids. And whereas the single-parent family, the Murphy-Brown example, and all of this supposed love and attachment that comes from the single-parent family is being held out as something that we should aspire to. One of the great examples in this piece is an assessment of the way People magazine handled Joan London's divorce. And this, I think, is brilliant. I just want to use this as the one example. I would love to spend a whole show on this, but I don't think that we have the wherewithal to do it tonight. Maybe on a future show we will. People magazine's cover story on Joan London's divorce. This is how they covered it. After the painful end of her 13-year marriage, the Good Morning America co-host is discovering a new life as a single mother and as her own woman. As though now, finally, because she had the courage to get divorced, she's released from bondage. And she can then pursue the course which was intended for her all along, to be the best woman she can be. Motherhood and marriage held her back, don't you see? That's what I'm talking about. This kind of thing that promotes the single parenting and all is exactly what's wrong and what needs to be assaulted and what needs to be attacked. It doesn't go on to mention in this People magazine story the obvious anguish that Joan London felt, that her husband felt, and the children felt. It was probably something that none of them would have chosen. I imagine if you could talk to each of them and ask them, what would you prefer? They'd all tell you, well, we wish we were still in love and the family was still together and everything had worked out. You know that's the case. But it's presented as just the opposite. This is a great piece to get. It is an eye-opener, and it'll prove what you already know, instinctively what you know. And it'll give you a lot of background information and a lot of facts when you get into arguments with people. It's the April Atlantic Monthly. Dan Quayle was right. And as I suggested earlier, Dan Quayle is right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get started with all the rest of our show, which is a goodie. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back. All right, so it's in the middle of the commercial break, and I've just finished what I think is a profound analysis of a major social problem in America. And the floor director, Sandy, says, Rush, you should have seen it. They had a jogger in that tape behind you. I'm saying, in the middle of my serious message? And she said, no, it's on the tape. Nobody saw it. So I went back and looked, and sure enough, you know, if it isn't our fireplace where the logs burn out and the fire almost goes out, Now we got Oceanside, and there's a jogger just running through. So I hunted for it. I want to show you how fast this goes by, because what bothers me about this. Hang on here a minute. There it goes. Now watch this. Watch this. You pay real. So I'm in the middle of my serious diatribe, and somebody noticed that. That's not much to notice. Well, I'm not going to keep my eye on it, but if you see something else that happens funny, will you let me know? Keep that shot, will you? Just keep that shot so that next time something happens. All right, now let's get to what we had planned here tonight. We talked to you on our last show about the Reverend Jackson and a number of... Was there something in the tape? Here we go. The Rodney King verdict and how, hey, it's not the verdict that caused the riots out there. Why, it's economic depravity and deprivation, rather, and that kind of thing. Well, the other day, the Reverend Jackson was interviewed by a Los Angeles television station, and they asked him if if he would be a good juror in the Rodney King trial, and here's what his answer was.
Yeah, I could have sat on the jury because I have the capacity and the will to be fair.
All right, now wait. Oh, no, you haven't seen anything yet, folks. Wait. So they then said, all right, Reverend Jackson, since you have the ability to be fair and you're a good member of the jury, what do you think happened in that incident? So here's what he said. Watch this.
I think that what's missed in this case, when the whole world saw what amounted to a lynching with sticks by police gone mad, to then see the madness on camera and see them either spared by an insensitive or an uncaring jury or by some technicality to tell people that they didn't see what they saw. People really are not stupid. We must admit that that was a mistake and move towards some kind of corrective action.
Would you like to have that guy on your jury? Here's really fair. Now, he just told us what happened. Now, we know because of the verdict in the first trial, that was a travesty of the law did not take place. Those prosecutors went for a charge that they couldn't get a conviction on, and we all know that the jury now probably did the right thing. So let's just play Reverend Jackson back again. Here is his analysis after what you just heard of why he would be a good juror.
Yeah, I could have sat on the jury because I have the capacity and the will to be fair.
Not prejudicial at all, huh, Reverend Jackson? It was a lynching with sticks? Okay, well, now, our man in Washington, as you know, recently attended the radio and TV broadcasters' dinner in Washington, D.C. We have been doing the past couple of weeks a series of programs on what's good about America, trying to focus on the positive, because there's so much. I mean, there's so much that's absolutely glorious about this country, and quite naturally, the media tends to focus on the negative. That's their job, to find what's wrong. We thought we'd show you what the media says about what's good about America from our man in Washington. Here's what we got. Here he is now.
A lot of negative talk and pessimism. Can you say something great about America today?
I think there's no doubt that after all is said and done, the United States is still the #1 country in the world. Most people in the world would like to live in this country. and they demonstrate that by the desire to come here and the way they look up to the United States.
Well, I mean, there's so many things. Unfortunately, that's not our role. If you drive down the street and you get a flat tire, you don't extol the virtues of the 3 tires that didn't go flat. But there's so many things that are good about this country. And having lived in a police state, having lived in the Soviet Union, I can attest to it.
Name something that's right with America.
That Rush Limbaugh and I can say whatever we like.
Well, I'll tell you, that's true. That's true. Now, we knew when we sat in our production meeting, and that was Gene Randall at CNN, by the way, who was talking about the 3 tires and so forth. And he was being honest. And I wanted to make sure that you caught that. And our audience here, that's when the reaction began. He was admitting exactly what the media's job is. Let this be a lesson to you. Their job is to go out and find out what's wrong and talk about it. And if you watch the news every night, you get pummeled with this stuff, and it does have an impact on it. I find it interesting that most of the members of the press, when asked, name something good about America, talk about freedom of speech, freedom of this, freedom of that. That is, of course, the essential goodness about this country, because it's freedom, of course, which allows us to pursue excellence, to be the best we can be. And Bob Greene, who got all this started, the syndicated columnist who lives out of Chicago, ran a series of columns on what people who read his columns said was good about America. They were a little bit less broad in their assessment, such things as seeing my baby cry or winning the Friday night bowling league tournament or whatever it was. But his columns were great because it showed you that it's the simple things in life for most people that when they reflect on it that make them feel happy. It's great to have this grandiose understanding of the importance of freedom, but if you really stop to think about it, no matter what your station in life, no matter what you've accomplished, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, no matter what your objectives are, you'll find that it's relationships with people that, and your children or your family or whatever, but it's just the simple things that make you feel actually happy, that take you beyond content. And that's something I think that all of us would do well to remember. Simple things in life are what really make us happy. Pursue those, and you'll be much further along the track to happiness than a lot of people who are doing otherwise. Quick break, and we'll be back with more right after that. Back. Now, folks, we didn't make that sign up. That sign actually exists. Doug Carroll from Monetta, South Carolina sent us that in. What a great picture. I mean, you would think that with Clinton, the arrow would be pointing to McDonald's on that picture, but it's not. We didn't make it up. We didn't go out and create the sign just to have a little fun with the president. Let's go to the phones, grab a quick call, find out what excitement lurks behind the blinking yellow light on the phone. This is Doc from York, Pennsylvania. Doc, hi. Welcome to the program.
Megodittas from the land of the sex out rush.
Oh, gee, you sound very happy for a guy who's been sexed out.
Well, I'll tell you, we survived it in case anybody was worried. It would have been a lot funnier if it was a week before when we were snowed in for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, that would have been.
I guess we were lucky. Rush, I enjoy your show. The one part of your show I really enjoy is when you hold those conversations with yourself. You're an artist at that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I do that a lot, Doc.
Well, I did it more.
Doc, I think you need some sex. Sounds like he might be a little clogged up some spots. You know what he must be talking about? He must be talking. Sometimes I interview myself. Sometimes if I'm doing a topic and the calls have not asked good questions, sometimes I'll ask myself a question, proving sometimes that some of the best questions asked of me are asked by me. But if he's not talking about that, then I'm at a loss. And so is he. We'll be back right after this. All right, folks, I am going to take the occasion of the remaining few moments of this show to talk about homelessness. It's something that you television viewers may not have heard me wax eloquently on as often and as frequently as radio listeners have heard. I have often been accused, wrongly so, of making fun of the homeless and of bashing the homeless. And instead, what I have done for the entire length of time that I've been on the air in my national radio show, which is approaching 5 years, is to rather criticize the homeless advocacy. See, I don't believe any of the myths that they say about homeless. I don't think that there are 3 million, and there never were. And I don't think that homelessness was caused because Ronald Reagan cut the housing budget. That didn't happen. I don't believe that homelessness occurs because you and I don't care. I don't care. I don't believe that there but for the grace of God go you and I is applicable. I don't think most of us are only one paycheck away from being homeless. Rather, what the homeless problem is an opportunity for several leftists to assume a stage of power using their compassion and their concern to point fingers of blame at capitalism and Reaganomics as being the culprits and the reason why some of these God-fearing people, who are just like you and I, they say, have somehow slipped through the cracks of the safety net. Well, that's not the case. The safety net has become a hammock for quite too many people in our country. And in the process of doing these homeless updates, many people have failed to listen to me in context, have failed to take seriously what I'm saying, and have chosen to just bash me as being unconscionable and a man without compassion. Let me illustrate perhaps the best example of what I'm talking about by telling you about this outfit in California called Project Dignity. Project Dignity is an organization which was offended not long ago when grocery store owners decided that it was time that they got their shopping carts back. See, the homeless go out and go into grocery stores and take shopping carts, and they become their homes. And they reel them around town. They put their earthly belongings in there, and that's it. Well, grocery store owners, those things cost $110 or more a piece. They want them back every now and then. After all, they paid for them. It's their property. And so the homeless advocates go, you cold-hearted grocery store guys, you insensitive boors, what right do you have to take their homes away? And so Project Dignity starts up. The avowed purpose is to raise money, to collect money from you, to buy shopping carts for human beings. And call it compassion, call it concern and caring. They put reinforced wheels on these shopping carts. Tell you why. Most homeless people, folks, have not figured out leverage. When they get their shopping cart and they go off the sidewalk and into the street, you eventually reach a curb. And many times you and I would just put our foot on the rear axle of the shopping cart and lift it up and go onto the sidewalk. The homeless just, the wheels come off. So these shopping carts have reinforced wheels, and you can even get them so that they are rubberized on the tips so that the metal doesn't hurt anybody. Well, these people claim that that's compassion and caring. Would you think that going out and saying to another human being, hey, I love you, I care about you, and I want the best for you. Here's a shopping cart. Now you laugh. You laugh, but that's what I'm talking about. That doesn't help those people out of the situation they're in. It just promotes them staying in it. So I criticize it. Of course, I'm the bad guy. Well, let me show you the latest from Project Dignity. It's a video that's shown at shelters where the homeless go to learn how to survive. Project Dignity is teaching the homeless how and what to eat out of trash dumpsters. Watch this.
Here we are again facing this dumpster, and with me is Harry and Booyah and Tom, and they're going to show you some different pieces here. Harry, what's that you got there?
This is a pretty nice medium-sized pumpkin here.
Let's say it again, Harry. Harry,
Nice pumpkin.
what do you have there, Harry?
It's a pumpkin.
It's a pumpkin.
It's edible, and this is one of the better ones here.
Can you show us another one? Booyah, grab one out of there, would you guys?
This is just some of the surplus you guys have.
Now, this one here is bad, obviously.
Yeah.
You know,
Broken.
it's broken up and whatnot. Show us another one, Tom. Here's a good one that Tom pulled out. You know, it could be wiped off, apparently, and that'll make edible eating. It's pretty good. And for something like this, you don't have to worry about germs too much because it can be washed off, you know, because you're eating the inside, not the outside.
You believe that? Folks, that's not humor. That's not Saturday Night Live. That's not even a current affair. I mean, that is an actual video put together by people in Garden Grove, California to teach people how to survive as homeless. to eat out of dumpsters. That's not compassion. That's not concern. That's not caring. That's almost criminal. And that's the truth about homelessness. We're out of time. Don't miss our next show. We'll be back soon, and you'll love it.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following. Rush Limbaugh's Wardrobe by Rochester, Big and Tall.
If you'd like to order a video cassette of Rush's TV show for only $24.95.
When's the last soccer tournament you were at? Middle of July?
No, well before the end of the school year.
Oh.
Yeah, well before the end of that, like April. Yeah. So we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
But people are slow to pick it up. That's cool. I get it. It's day 2. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Yes. Yes, you're here. We were number 7 on the leaderboard yesterday. We had 59 or 53,000 views. To switch times, that's pretty impressive. I'm impressed by you. I'm impressed. And I think you're wonderful. So thank you.
And I know she's not here, but I want to address an email I got.
Oh.
Not wondering why we switched and the Bonginos at this time. You guys have all known we've never made a decision on what we do based on anything anyone else is doing. So
I'm not afraid to go up against anybody because I don't listen to them.
Well,
I know that people have preferences, and that's totally fine.
I think this is a completely different show than everything else.
Yeah.
We talk news, but then we talk about other stuff too.
Oh yeah, that's the monologue.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I know.
No,
yes.
I'm just saying, stuff you're not going to get. And I don't mean to badmouth. I don't want it to seem like I'm badmouthing anybody, but Ian Bongino doesn't have any inside information that he can tell you about. He may, he has a lot of contacts, but to say I go to Dan for inside information, no one has any inside information.
Least of all, me. Right? I'm a mom. I'm a mom. But I have some common sense and I have the ability to ask questions. Hey, you can see Brock's incredibly shrinking face. Hopefully in the coming weeks, we'll have something to report on that and invite you to join what he's doing, which is very exciting and very different. And I think hugely interesting. I will tell you, I traveled with this GLP-1 Gold from Juvenon.